what chance do you give us at Real Madrid?
0.0000000.
There is no possibility that Arsenal beat either Real Madrid or Atletico. It is not going to happen.
It is not going to happen.
They said Arsenal had 0% chance, but they did the impossible and knocked Real Madrid out anyway. A 5-1 aggregate win, 2 dominant victories that have shut down all the talk from rivals and haters. And this is how it feels to be an Arsenal supporter today. It feels amazing. It feels like vindication. It's emotional because we're so proud of the players, how they play, the manager and the fans who are attendance at the home and away games, and for the amazing support they gave the team. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how Arsenal went from having 0% chance of beating Real Madrid to dominating at the Bernabéu and knocking the champions of Europe out of Europe. Football bread. Hi guys, welcome back to Football Bread. If you're new here, I'm Paul. Why am I wearing a mask? Read the pinned comment. Let's move. So, look, Arsenal as a club seem to get the most unobjective takes in sport. The most unobjective opinion. Before this tie with Real Madrid, almost everyone gave us no chance whatsoever.
Before a ball was kicked, I said I think Arsenal can play this tie 100 times and I'm not sure they'd win once. I said there was 0% chance that Arsenal were going to the next round.
I don't know in what world people think that's logical. A lot of people, that was their opinion. Arsenal cannot beat Real Madrid. And how unbalanced that was is what's made this victory feel so much better for Arsenal fans. It's what's made it so much richer. The fact that we were so written off, so dismissed, to put on 2 dominant displays and beat the champions of Europe 5-1. And yes, we know, look, this isn't the very best iteration of Real Madrid that we've ever seen. Nonetheless, everybody thought they were a way better team than us. And I think everybody now knows that Arsenal are a way better team than Real Madrid and could, in fact, not impossible, be the very best team in the Champions League. Arsenal can win this thing, but they were dismissed, they were doubted, and they completely shut everyone up. And look, we know how this thing started. 3-0 at the Emirates, mainly due to a world-class, let me repeat, world-class midfielder in Declan Rice with 2 worldies. Never been seen before. 2 worldie free kicks that were out of this world, and a 3rd amazing goal also by the world's newest best false 9, Mikel Merino, who quite frankly has been doing bits ever since Arteta asked him to play that role, and, say it very quietly, might be doing a better job than Kai Havertz was doing. No disrespect to Kai Havertz, because I love Kai Havertz, but what Mikel Merino has been doing, playing that 9, that false 9 role since he's been there, has been nothing short of miraculous. But let's go back. Declan Rice over the 2 legs was the best player on the pitch, closely followed by Bukayo Saka, who has been amazing. Even though he clearly isn't quite back to full match fitness, he still was absolutely the best attacking player on the pitch. That was clear. Declan Rice was the best player midfielder on the pitch. That is clear. And now it's impossible not to call those 2 world-class or put them in a world-class bracket. Well, it's not impossible. Obviously, if you're delusional, you can just do that. If you're a reasonable, normal human being, it's okay just to say Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice are world class. And you know, the rhetoric around Declan Rice is hard to listen to at times, honestly. The opinions you have to hear about Declan Rice.
And then listen, there's another big problem. Yeah? He's called Declan Rice. What? Oh, are you lot still doing this thing where you lot are pretending this ain't a £40 million player, bro?
Well, allow it.
Declan Rice.
Listen to this. You see Jude Bellingham. You see that 100 million. It's gonna look like 100 million at the highest level of football.
We'll see, bro.
We'll see.
Man of the match in both games. UEFA Champions League quarterfinals against the reigning champs, and you're the best player on the pitch over 180 plus minutes. You have to acknowledge the greatness that Declan Rice displayed in this quarterfinal tie. All the talk before the game was remontada. Real Madrid are gonna make a comeback. Remontada. We're still looking for this remontada. And look, the game was eventful. Arsenal controlled it. We had a penalty. Saka tried a cheeky one and missed it. Then they had a shout for a penalty with Mbappe. Dive in, would have been a bit soft, got overturned. And of course, we did go on to score with Saka, which was a beautiful goal. A wonderful assist from Mikel Merino, who got 2 on the night, as we know. Bukayo. And again, another player around which the rhetoric has just been ridiculous. Okay, granted, we didn't know he was going to do this well as a 9. He's done phenomenal. But if you called him out of his name before, then you need to just go back and apologize, because he's been sensational. 2 wonderful assists. That was a beautifully crafted goal for 1-0 at the Bernabéu, and I thought that's how it was going to end, you know, like back in the day, Thierry Henry 1-0. But Saliba had other plans, decided he wanted to make it a bit more exciting. Vinicius scores. It's a free gift for Real Madrid, because if we don't give them that goal, they don't score a goal. They still would have had their history of having never scored against Arsenal. But again, little lapse in judgment. 1-1. Fine, look, it's William Saliba. He's our colossus at the back. He gets instant forgiveness. It's no problem. But then later in the game, obviously, another brilliant Mikel Merino through ball, and Martinelli did the business. And you know what? That's another player who gets so much stick for his performances when he always puts in a shift. And I'm so happy for him that he scored the winner in the Bernabéu. It was nothing less than his performance deserved. There were so many amazing performances. Miles Lewis-Skelly, unbelievable. Unbelievable. The kid is clearly fearless. For the next 10, 15 years, he's going to be one of the best players in the world. He already is, clearly. We saw him in a pitch with some of the best players in the world, and he was in the top 5. So that is what it is. Jurrien Timber, pound for pound, is probably the best right back on the planet right now. Hopefully I'm not being too biased when I say that. He gives you plenty going forward, but actually the best part of having Jurrien Timber on the pitch is that you just feel so secure that regardless of who the other team's winger is, he's going to have a hard time with Jurrien Timber. He's going to have a hard time beating him. He's going to have a hard time getting crosses in. You don't feel like Jurrien Timber is going to get dribble past, and he rarely ever does get dribble past. He's just such an amazing player to have in the club and on your team. Jurrien Timber is incredible. And a big shout out to Jakub Kiwior. The biggest compliment I can pay Kiwior is that I haven't seen a massive drop off from Arsenal defensively since he's coming to replace Gabriel. That tells you how good Kiwior has been, because if you don't massively miss Gabriel, that means the guy who's come in to replace him is doing a phenomenal job, and that is exactly what Jakub Kiwior is doing. So do you know what? Hats off to Kiwior, and long may his form continue. But to zoom out from all the drama, the big picture is that this Arsenal team have proved that we belong in Europe's elite. You know, people are talking about all this heritage this, heritage that. Our heritage is now on the pitch. This team, this group of individuals that have this amazing spirit that they have, this amazing mentality, this great manager, this team that wants to get better and better. It's very exciting times for Arsenal, and Declan Rice said it, like, this club is going to achieve special things over the next few years, and the outside talk isn't going to matter. The outside talk, the doubt, the unobjective takes, the reluctance to call world-class players world-class, the rush to say that a player is rubbish if he's having a few off weeks, or he just gets transferred in and he doesn't kill it straight away. All of that, it doesn't matter to the team. It clearly doesn't matter to the team and to the manager. They might hear it. Bukayo Saka acknowledged that they hear it. They hear this and that, but it doesn't matter. They're just not stopping. Arsenal Football Club is not going to stop getting better. The players are not going to stop getting better, and the manager is not going to stop getting better. So I don't know what side of history you want to be on when you're saying your takes. I think for a lot of pundits and for a lot of us fan talking heads, it's probably better if you try to be a little bit more objective and honest about what you see. People won't, you know, they'll carry on doing their thing, and that's fine. But today, in this moment, it's quiet. It's really quiet, and I like it. But long story short, Arsenal Football Club, as a top footballing force in the Premier League and in Europe, is here to stay. But please let me know what you think. Do you now finally agree that Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka are world class? Do you think Arsenal can beat PSG and in the final Barcelona or Inter to win the Champions League this year? Just give me your honest take. Do you believe, after seeing what Arsenal did against Real Madrid, do you believe that it's possible that Arsenal could win the Champions League? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thanks for being here, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Football bread.